Hi y'all, I'm Amber, welcome back to Cat Streets, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a book review. The book that I'm going to be reviewing is Bread and Wine by Ignacio Salone, translated from Italian by Eric Mosbacher. This is about Pedro Spina, who's been exiled from Italy for the past 15 years. He has snuck back into the country in order to round up the peasants into a revolution. This book came out in 1936, and Italy was going through a fascist state, or rather living through a fascist state. I think Mussolini was leading the country. So in going into this book, I was expecting it to be a little bit more action-driven, in the sense that I thought that it was going to be more about him actually sneaking around the country, talking to people, you know, rattling them up through actions that he was doing, that kind of a thing. But for the first half of this book, he's recuperating from an illness, and he's stuck in this small village in the mountains. And throughout him getting there and living there for that first half of this book, it's all kind of talked in abstract, his views, and in the sense that when he would meet somebody and start talking about religion or politics, it never really felt like he was trying to convince them, and sometimes I felt like he was trying to decide where he landed himself in his own beliefs. And I get that he was struggling, that's why he came back to this country, but at the same time, half this book was spent in philosophical, theological discussions, to the point where I never really felt like this story was going anywhere. And when we get into the small village, there was just a lot of weird traditions that these people would do, like beating up their animals in order for them to remember their names, which is ridiculous, but it was something that they did, or at least this one guy did. Or they believed that if you had something good happen to you, like your business started to really come together, that envy was going to come in and destroy it. So, I mean, yes, you saw the effects of what this country was living through these crazy beliefs that they started entering into their minds. Also saw it with this one guy who was basically like losing all his land, I believe, because of all these taxes that they kept throwing on top of everything, and he was barely surviving because of that. Even though I think that whole thing was a little bit crazy and weird when he was there, it was definitely something that showed you what was going on. It's just that things didn't really start happening until after the halfway point. By that time, I started losing interest in the book because Pedro is a bit of a jerk. The way he treats these people, even though I understand why he was acting that way since he was pretending to be a priest, he didn't want to act the priest because, well, for one, I don't think he knew how to do certain things that a priest would actually be able to do, and he felt wrong trying to pretend to do those same things. But at the same time, he treated them so badly at times that it really made me not like him. Even though things started really moving forward, I just couldn't get into the book. And I think a lot of it also had to do with the writing, which is very dry, forced, in that it never really felt like it was natural to him, which makes sense. I knew that going in because I read a little bit of the intro, and they even said that that writing to him was never natural. So overall, this wasn't what I was expecting going into. The writing wasn't something to write home. It never really felt like it moved the story anywhere. Also, the fact that there wasn't a lot of action when I thought it was, and the synopsis and the story itself never really felt like it jived. So my expectations were disappointed, and it wasn't what I thought. Especially because I thought I was going to learn more. Like, I thought I was actually going to learn something through this specifically about what was really going on, but it felt like I was told these things in very vague ways. I mean, yes, you get to see it through him talking to people and showing you what their lives were like in a way, but I really wanted to get into the nitty-gritty of it, and I never got that, and I should have known that it wasn't going to be like that since it was told through a story format. So I think I will definitely be picking up an actual book that is nonfiction and talks about the history of that time period. In the end, I had to give this 2 stars. Tell me down below if you read this book. I would love to discuss it with you down below, or if you know anything about that time period, or if you know any books that talk about that time period, I would love for you to share that with me. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep smiling.